Tonight, 3 hurricanes spinning in the Atlantic. Bob Harrigan will show us the significant threat from Hurricane Florence.
Plus, 1 year after Hurricane Irma, the lack of hurricane shelters in Venice still a major concern for city officials.
And where red tide conditions are being seen and felt once again. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight. First this evening, it's the peak of hurricane season. Hurricane Florence headed straight for the east coast of the U.S. with 2 more hurricanes in the Atlantic as well.
Let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with the latest tracks on those storms. Bob?
Yeah, I got to tell you, these storms are amazing that we have so many to watch. Not just 3 hurricanes, we have a disturbance located right here as well, and that has a 50% chance developing, and another one right here in the Northwest Caribbean. The news on it is that it's going to move off to the northwest. Thankfully, these are the ones that can cause problems, obviously, to the west coast of Florida, but with high pressure situated over the top of us, it's going to force us off to the northwest and have an impact on Texas and possibly Louisiana down the road. This has a real good chance of developing too once it gets into the Gulf of Mexico, but all eyes are on Florence right now. This is the biggest storm to impact this particular area in some time, and it looks like it's on track to make landfall. Now, the GFS forecast model had been showing the system kind of hanging just offshore of the Carolinas, then bending off to the northeast. It doesn't appear that that's going to happen now, as most of the models are in agreement that it is going to hit anywhere between Georgia and Virginia. So there's still a bit of a spread there, but it appears that it's going to be on track. Isaac is a storm that's heading west. It's not that well organized at this point. There's a chance it too could weaken as it moves into the Caribbean. There are some models, though, still indicating that it may stay as a hurricane in the eastern portion of the Caribbean. Then Helene, this is going to open up into the open waters of the Atlantic right now, but all eyes are on Florence. The winds have gone up now to 140 miles an hour, making it a dangerous Category 4 hurricane, and there's a chance it could be, in fact, this forecast model indicating that it's going to get close to Category 5 status as it moves over some very warm water here, gusts up to 165. But notice this is the 2-day time frame there from, again, Friday through Saturday. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it's going to sit in this particular region, drawing in this warm, moist air, and cooling it, condensing it, and dumping what could be up to 3 feet of rainfall in some areas. Here's the European forecast model of the rain based on its path, and you can see right there, Raleigh-Durham, plus 10 inches of rainfall, and some isolated areas right now they're projecting could be up to 25 inches of rain in somewhere in that area, but generally a catastrophic event. And not only for that, but storm surge too, as it's going to hit at a right angle, and a right angle storm causes all sorts of problems with big storm surge. Isaac, as I mentioned, will more than likely be downgraded to a tropical storm once it gets into the Caribbean there. Well, much more on all the tropics. Let you know about all the different forecasts of that system over the Northwest Caribbean coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. It has been exactly 1 year since Hurricane Irma barreled through Florida. This time last year, thousands of Floridians had packed their bags and headed north on I-75, only to be met with traffic jams and fuel shortages. Water was cleared off of shelves. Plywood and generators were hard to find, and Sarasota and Manatee County shelters were packed with evacuees. And then on September 10th, the storm made landfall in the Florida Keys and then on Marco Island and headed north through the center of the state, causing trees and power lines to fall here on the Suncoast.
First time ever we evacuated Manatee Memorial. First time ever we opened 25 shelters. We've maybe opened most 6 at any given time. First time ever that we had that amount of power outage for that amount of time.
The storm leaving hundreds of thousands of people without power for days, some even weeks, and piles of debris sat on the streets for months waiting for pickup. Coming up tonight at 6, you'll hear from both counties about what lessons they've learned from Hurricane Irma.
And remember, we have all kinds of information on our website to help you prepare. Just go to mysuncoast.com. Under the Weather tab, you'll find a link to our 1-hour hurricane special, Surviving the Storm, and a printable 2018 hurricane guide.
Red tide has returned to Casperson Beach in Venice. Today, the water was brownish red in color and dead fish were lining the shore. Our reporter says she could smell red tide a half-mile away, even from inside her vehicle. People on the beach today left after saying they couldn't stand the smell for more than about 5 minutes. In the latest red tide report, there was a high concentration of the bloom along the coast by the beach. Casperson Beach isn't the only place along the Suncoast feeling the effects of red tide. Dead fish also lining the shore of Casey Key. Residents believe Tropical Storm Gordon helped push the red tide and odor away from shore, but now it appears to be coming back. Still, residents say the smell is better than in August.
Well, test results confirm Mote Marine Laboratory's suspicions that many of the dead dolphins recovered last month died from red tide exposure. Mote says 16 dead dolphins were found in Sarasota and Manatee waters during a 2-week span in August. Some of the carcasses recovered were highly decomposed, so it was difficult to get tissue samples. Mote says it performed necropsies on the dolphins, then sent 10 tissue samples to an outside lab for a detailed analysis. Mote tells us almost all mammals recovered had stomachs full of fish, indicating that those dolphins were exposed to red tide through their food.
It does take a while for that toxin to bioaccumulate up the food chain and reach the dolphins, which is why you might see kind of dolphins being affected a little bit later than sea turtles or manatees.
Mote Marine says the tissues were sent to a lab that processes red tide samples from throughout the state. That lab is currently receiving lots of samples, which is why it took several weeks to get those results back. And a reminder that disaster assistance is available for small businesses impacted by red tide. Sarasota County is working with the U.S. Small Business Administration to provide those affected with low-interest loans. The Business Recovery Center is located at Bee Ridge Park on South Lockwood Ridge Road. It's open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday. SBA representatives are there to help answer any questions you may have and assist with completing applications.
An important new safety improvement at SRQ, the new air traffic control tower at Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport, dedicated this morning. The $25 million, 128-foot tall tower is a significant investment at the airport. The tower was paid for with federal, state, and airport funds. Airport officials say it helps air traffic controllers provide safer and more efficient service.
So you can see the airport's investing a lot of money in keeping the facility great, while at the same time we've not incurred any debt, and we also are totally self-sufficient with no taxing power. So I think the people get $1 billion worth of value each year at no cost to the local community. It's a pretty good deal for the community.
Meanwhile, another multi-million-dollar project is currently underway at SRQ. Crews are installing 13 new jet bridges, which passengers use to board and leave planes. They'll replace the old ones, which were more than 30 years old. The new jet bridges will have air conditioning and some floor-to-ceiling windows at each end that will let in natural light. That project will cost around $13 million and should be done by December or January. Still to come in your Suncoast News, the main concerns for people in the Carolinas as Hurricane Florence targets those states.
And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast, plus why a common painkiller could be linked to a higher risk of heart attack. Those stories coming up next.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org. Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 15% on our premium finishes during the California Closets Autumn Upgrade event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Our nurse, Jennifer, all we did is pick up the phone if I was having a bad day, and the next thing we know, she was here at the door. I can't believe that I would have received any greater care anywhere. From that moment on, everything changed dramatically. And I don't know what we would have done without that.
You
like to pay less. That's why you made Honda Accord the best-selling mid-size car in America. Get the redesigned Accord, the North American Car of the Year, or Civic, a KBB.com Best Buy for less than the competition. Like SUVs and trucks? Get Motor Trend's SUV of the Year, CRV, the 8-passenger Pilot, or Ridgeline truck for up to $4,240 less. Today at your local Honda dealer.
The skills you develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you a head start on your career. Gain practical experience with technology and equipment that will give you a leg up in the civilian world. Learn critical leadership skills and to be part of a team. Serve your community and your country part-time while earning money for an education. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn about the paid training and career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet. Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 15% on our premium finishes during the California Closets Autumn Upgrade event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
1 year later in the city of Venice, the conversation of hurricane shelters, or lack thereof, has come up once again. ABC7's Rebecca Fernandez joins us live now with more on what city officials and Sarasota County leaders continue to disagree on. Rebecca?
Jacqueline, well, this building, the Venice Community Center, was once the hurricane shelter for residents here on the island of Venice. But now that Sarasota County says they will not be opening it during a hurricane, city officials are worried about what they should expect if a big storm does come through.
There is supposed to be a plan in place. I don't know how well it's been communicated because we've asked a lot of questions and haven't been able to get answers. I just have to assume that there's a plan in place.
The Venice Community Center was upgraded back in 2006 with stronger windows to withstand hurricane-force winds. The center also has its own generators. But Sarasota County said the building is still on an island, and if the storm surge exceeds 18 feet, the entire city of Venice would be underwater, including the community center.
Clearly, risk potential to residents inside that building. We would not use that as a shelter. It's been said in multiple meetings, including joint meetings with both boards. This is an issue of public safety and the importance of moving people out of the area.
So instead, leaders came up with the transportation plans. Residents will meet at designed rally points, then taken by bus to shelters across the county.
But one of the shortcomings to transporting people to shelters with county buses is once winds hit, and I believe it's 35 miles an hour, they pull the buses off the road. So if you're not to a rally point by time winds hit 35 miles an hour, and that's not even tropical storm force yet, if you're not to that rally point, you'll have no transportation to a shelter.
The county also says they are looking for other options for evacuation centers that could withstand a Category 5 hurricane.
Has put $3 million in a capital improvement project. We are currently talking with Sarasota Memorial Hospital, who's planning on building a hospital off the Laurel Road area. We're working to build a shelter for up to 1,000 people on that new campus with the hospital. So we're working on that program as well. That would move us into a higher area of land. And would be an area for central county residents, whether in Venice, Nokomis, or any of those other areas, to also find shelter.
But the city of Venice says that does not help current residents in the case of a big storm.
I think we're in we've got in my mind, a very serious problem because we're not providing the services that our taxpayers are paying for.
Sarasota County emergency officials say they will continue working with the city of Venice to ensure residents are in the safest place possible. Live in Venice, Rebecca Fernandez, ABC7, your Suncoast News. Back to you guys.
All right, Rebecca, thank you so much. Well, Hurricane Florence, now a major Category 4 storm. The North Carolinas now preparing for the worst. Chelsea Donovan from our sister station in Wilmington, North Carolina, shows us what officials there are expecting.
New Hanover County here is currently under a state of emergency. Also coming from the emergency services director, he described this hurricane, Hurricane Florence, as very Hugo-esque, saying it's been decades since we've seen a storm of this magnitude. The main concern here from emergency services officials is marine concerns, erosion, rip currents, and storm surge. Stephen Sill, emergency services director, believes that storm surge could be more than 15 feet in an already heavily saturated area from July rains. He says we could see tropical storm force winds starting as early as Wednesday night. Tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., that is Tuesday morning, Emergency Services Center here, the operations facility, will be fully activated in New Hanover County going forward.
The governor announced that he has activated 200 National Guardsmen with the possibility of up to thousands more. We support that effort. We think that's very thoughtful and forward-looking planning for what we expect to be a statewide emergency event.
There have been no decisions yet on local shelters to open. Also, no decisions made yet for mandatory evacuations of our local beach communities. Also up for discussion if possibly they will make I-40 from Wilmington westbound, opening all lanes to mitigate what could be a large evacuation here in the Wilmington area. For the Raycom News Network, I'm Chelsea Donovan.
All right. That's going to be, I mean, we were going through this a year ago. This is going to be a long week for them.
Yeah. This is interesting in that this storm is not yet, in stone as to it's going to hit North Carolina. There's still some uncertainty, and in fact, the latest from the National Hurricane Center just came out is now suggesting that it will get to Category 5 status, close to it, and it's doubled in speed and intensity in just 12 hours. So it's rapidly intensified. On top of that, it looks like it's going to slow down a little bit as it approaches the Carolina coast, or possibly even up to Virginia, and that means a catastrophic rainfall event too. We're talking maybe in some isolated areas could getting up to 25, 30 inches of rainfall. This is the European forecast model showing the system. Again, watch the 2-2 down in the Caribbean. Those are going to be an influencing factor on the high pressure ridge, which is expected to drive the storm into the Carolinas. So if that system in the Northwest Caribbean starts to intensify somewhat, that's going to change the game plan as far as that goes. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. Obviously, we'll talk about this more here in just a little bit. But as far as our rainfall goes right now, we've got this west wind, and that has brought the harmful impacts of red tide back along the coast. And we knew that was going to happen. We talked about it last week, that we're going to get this west to southwesterly wind flow as a result of this frontal boundary right here. This front is weakening, which will fade away tomorrow, which will allow that high pressure ridge to build back north temporarily before Florence arrives and moves on in. But that system in the Northwest Caribbean is going to have an influence, it looks like, on the future path and direction of Florence. You can see these storms moving off to the northeast, indicating that southwest wind, and indeed where they're feeling the impacts near Casperson Beach in Venice. The reason why is because they did have some high concentrations there that were detected just on Friday. You can see those storms in the eastern portions of Manatee and Sarasota counties. That's about it. But as far as the satellite imagery goes, this is the biggest player, possibility of becoming a Category 5. One thing to note is that as this system goes and gets stronger and weaker and stronger and weaker, each time it expands its wind field out further and further. So this is going to have a far-reaching impact on the Carolina coast all the way through Virginia and possibly even down south into Georgia as we move through time. So this is the color-enhanced satellite imagery. You can see just 12 hours ago wasn't much in terms of an eye, and now it's got a well-defined eye. It looks like the classic buzzsaw that we have come to know as a Category 5 storm. And although it's a 4 right now, there's a good chance it'll turn into a 5 tomorrow. Winds are moving to the west-northwest. There's not much shear going on right now, and that would only indicate the storm is expected to get stronger. And indeed, the forecast models are showing that. It becomes a strong 155-mile-an-hour wind. That, again, is on Tuesday afternoon, just a mile or two shy of becoming a Category 5. And then there's going to be a little shear just off the Carolina coast as it makes its way off toward the northwest. So again, this is expected to make landfall. It looks like Thursday now is the timing. This is Wednesday, 150-mile-an-hour winds with gusts up to 185. And then somewhere around Thursday, late, it looks like mid to late afternoon, Category 4 storm. Storm surge could be as high as 15 feet. And as I said, the rainfall amount says it will sit around for 2 days over the Carolina coast and up near, again, toward Virginia. So this is going to be a catastrophic flood event on the scale of possibly Harvey, but we'll see. Water temperatures are very warm throughout this region as well. And there's the rainfall forecast by the European forecast model, the highest amounts plus 10, or talking up to a foot of rain in those areas. Now, Isaac is a storm that is moving off to the west and northwest. Eventually will turn into a tropical storm. We do believe all the models indicating some strong shear there, and this system has a 50% chance developing, but if it were to develop, it would move off toward Texas later on this week, and Helene, not a factor for any land areas at this point. Our forecast is calling for, again, some switch around of our winds to more of a northeasterly direction, which will bring us a chance for some showers coming back toward the coast on in through the afternoon. So tomorrow we'll start off with east winds, and then they'll turn around with that sea breeze developing in the afternoon. Seas running 1 to 2 feet with a light chop out in the waters. Now, the forecast for the next 7 days, well, we went by that. We'll see if we can get back to it. There it is. 20% chance for late day showers tomorrow. 50% chance for scattered storms. And then Thursday and Friday's weather is going to be a little bit tricky depending upon the future path of Florence. It will have an impact on our rain chances over the weekend. We're counting on a 30% chance for scattered storms. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Let's check First Alert traffic right now. There's a road closure on 53rd Avenue West between 41 and 16th Street in Bradenton, and it is causing some minor traffic around that area. Jacqueline.
Thanks, Scott. In health news tonight, a new study finds a link between a common painkiller and increased risk of heart attack. Researchers say diclofenac, which is also sold under other brand names including Voltaren, Cambia, and Solaraze, has a higher risk of adverse events compared to similar drugs. Today, it's one of the most widely used and routinely recommended drugs sold around the world. Researchers say, however, it should not be available over the counter, and when prescribed, it should have appropriate package warnings about its potential health risks. Well, today is World Suicide Prevention Day. According to the World Health Organization, more than 800,000 people die by suicide every year. That's about one person every 40 seconds. In the United States, suicide rates have gone up 25% in the last 20 years. Earlier this summer, there were 2 high-profile suicides: fashion icon Kate Spade and celebrity chef Anthony Bourdain. If you or someone you know needs help, the phone number for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-TALK. Coming up, a gas line explosion lights up the sky in a Pennsylvania neighborhood, and a dramatic police chase all caught on camera at a busy airport in France. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Detoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
Gettle's got what you're looking for at Gettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Gettle's got that too. Gettle's got it. Visit Gettle.com.
Dozens of people in western Pennsylvania forced from their homes this morning after a large gas line explosion. The blast happening just before 5 o'clock this morning. No one was hurt, but police said the main goal was to evacuate. Dramatic video of the fire was widely shared on social media with footage of the flames lighting up the sky. The company that owns the gas line reports a monitoring system triggered the closing of valves to isolate that line, allowing the fire to burn itself out by about 7 a.m.
A man is arrested after a dramatic car chase through 2 airports in southeast France today. Police began chasing the man after he drove the wrong way down a highway in a stolen car. He then crashed into a security barrier at a small airport before heading to a much larger airport. He then crashed through 2 glass doors at the airport's terminal to drive onto the runways. All air traffic at that airport was stopped, and luckily no one was injured. Authorities say one person is in the hospital with minor injuries tonight after a big rig hauling kegs crashed in Phoenix. An SUV involved in the rollover crash came to rest on its side on the shoulder of the road. The interstate's southbound lanes were blocked as a result of that wreck. Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, states of emergency declared in multiple states along the East Coast, how officials are preparing for the worst as Hurricane Florence approaches.
And a look at events across the Suncoast tomorrow to honor those who lost their lives in the September 11th attack.
Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 15% on our premium finishes during the California Closets Autumn Upgrade event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Get more for your money during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Sunset Subaru. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Outback is an IIHS top safety pick for 10 years running. Lease a new Subaru Outback today for just $249 a month or get 0% financing with 0 down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Temperatures are rising and the deals are heating up during the summer clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota. Shop the area's largest selection of new 2018 Jeep Wranglers. Or get the most awarded SUV of all time, a new Jeep Cherokee for as little as $19,999. Find the path to your next great adventure in the all-new Jeep Compass for just $17,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, what was once impossible is happening today for thousands of patients with blood cancer.
I live.
I live. I live. I live.
I live.
She lives.
Because of the research done by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in the battle against blood cancer.
If you had a chance to support the research that is saving lives, what would you do?
Reorganizing a space in your home? Save up to 15% on our premium finishes during the California Closets Autumn Upgrade event. Contact us today for a free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.